Today, I'm going to be doing a makeup look inspired by the dark Vampire Muse. So think Gothic romance, dark romantic feelings, and this makeup look is going to be inspired by SILKY MOCHI'S Dark Vampire Muse, which is from her Dark Muse series. A lot of you know SILKY MOCHI already because I've collaborated with her and we have a lot of crossover in our style explorations. So definitely check her out if you haven't already. I'm going to link videos down below. But what I've really loved about SILKY MOCHI'S Dark Muse system is they're basically a guideline for those of us who like dark aesthetics, and you can pull from different elements of the muses to create your own kind of dark aesthetic blend. And I love the idea of having a muse and something to look up to for inspiration. And the Dark Vampire Muse, though it's not something I gravitate towards in my everyday, definitely has a special place in my heart because I love a dark red lip. I do love sensual details. I love like Gothic romance and Gothic settings, and definitely think of all shades of red. Do not shy away from red if you want to conjure this dark vampire feeling. When it comes to style, just like going for maximalism, sensual opulence, velvet, lace, layers, jewelry, just like going for it. All that being said, you guys know I still like to keep my makeup looks fairly wearable, and today I got a lot to do after this, so I really want to kind of harness what I consider like a very put together, like womanly side of the Dark Vampire Muse, because it does feel like very womanly, kind of like the romantic essence back when I talked about the Kitchener essences. But it's going to be, of course, darker than that. So I'm still going to honor the dark aesthetics, but keep it in the vein that it feels like I'm going to feel happy going out with this. But yeah, still honoring this like lush, opulent feel. So without further ado, let's get into the makeup look. I'm going to start with contour today. I think the Dark Vampire Muse benefits more from things like contour rather than bronzer. And I'm going to get that right under the cheekbone and also right here for some definition at the temple. This is basically a pretty classic contour placement that I turn to. But yeah, I definitely think it suits the dark vampire. Like I'm gonna go for more of the lifted blush feeling, though it is like darkly romantic. We're not leaning into romantic in the sense of like meadow romance, more like sensual romance. And of course, vampires, they don't go out in the sunlight, so like bronzer, it's definitely not the vibe. For blush, I'm going to go in with a bright red. This is from Rituel de Fille, and it's the shade Nymph. I've had it for quite a while, and it's really quite vibrant red, but I think that's okay. Kind of translates a little pink, but I think it's going to just bring that, I don't know. I feel like the dark vampire can lean into some bright elements, like bright reds, easily. So I'm just placing that right above the contour. Now I'm using a bit of powder to blend out those edges and help just blend everything together a little more. I'm going to take this palette from Kaleidos. It's like a contour highlighting palette, and I'm going to use this on my eyes. My idea is to do like a dark red kind of winged out liner, but I do want to add a little bit of depth to the eye first. So I'm going to start by laying down this shade all over the lid. Actually, I've never used this on my eyes before, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is a great shade for a touch of brightening if your skin tone's similar to mine. And just giving something for the rest of the eyeshadow to grip onto. I think it really looks good to do like white eyeshadow with any kind of vampiric look, but when you're pairing whites with reds, that's when it, slowly creeps into a little bit more of a more dramatic, more costumey feel. But if you want to still get that feeling, go for a brightening shade that isn't pure white. It's just like brightening up whatever your skin tone is a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this shade here. Once again, cool tones I think are a lot better than anything warm. And I basically just want to really emphasize the crease here. It's a pretty classic crease placement, to be honest. But it's good to go just like a little bit more than you might think initially, because I want it to still like stand out against the red liner. And just really working with my natural crease. I'm just gonna take what's left on the brush and wing that out a little bit. Taking that same shadow under the eye and going fairly low to emphasize the dimension of the lower eye. I feel like the eyes can play a big role in the Vampire Muse because you want to have that kind of seductive feel, like you're luring someone in to drink their blood. So just like really shaping out the eye can do that. I'm going to take from Rituel de Fille their kohl liner. This is in the shade Iron. It's a dark red, super blendable if you want to use it for just like an eyeshadow, but you can also use it as a liner. And I'm going to start with an angled brush and just slowly start building this up. Swapping out for like a smaller liner brush for more of the detailed work. Bringing this all the way into the inner corner. It's going to contribute to a sense of length to the eye. Personally, I think this is the perfect size of wing, enough that when you put lashes on, it's still going to be noticeable, but it's not, you know, hugely extending this way. It's not too thick. Perfect size wing. Now I got to do it on the other side. So I'm going to do that off camera, put on some mascara, see where we're at with the look, and continue on. And really the lip is going to be such a huge focus of this, which is why I'm keeping it slightly minimal on the eye. I think this is really pretty and in some ways minimal, but some ways maximal. I went for a little bit more of a lash than I've been going for recently, using the So Wispy lashes from Kiss, and they're kind of like a half lash. So adding a lot more volume and a little bit of lift at the edges of the eyes, I just think is going to suit this. And before I move on to the lips, I do want to add just like a touch more red on the lower lash line. So I'm going in with the Danessa Myricks Blooming Romance palette. I think I'll try out this shade here. This shade. Just to kind of balance out what's going on the upper lash. You know, we've got a lot of volume up there now. Just think adding this touch of red will just like really add to the vampire feel. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just do this to prep the lips because I'm thinking of going pretty matte. And really give something for the liner and the lipstick to cling to. I'll start with a dark brown liner. So this is from Charlotte Tilbury and it's Pillow Talk Deep. It's definitely a lot more of a cooler tone brown than a warmer brown. I'm going to try this lipstick I've never tried before, actually, from Florasis, and the shade is Bed of Roses. I feel like it feels vampire-y and just like its ornateness, this lipstick, and you just push it. It's called the Love Lock lipsticks, I think. And there's like intricate details on the bullet. Looks like a kind of neutral, darkish red. Well, maybe not so dark. Kind of the perfect color. Ooh, I really like this. Okay, I did just pop a tiny bit of this in the waterline. I think you could go for like more of a sultry red waterline, but I just wanted to kind of mix it up today because I've done that a lot before, and it kind of mimics like the shade right on the lid, so there's a bit of like harmony. And as I said, my goal with this makeup look was to keep it feeling very put together. Though it's like taking inspiration from sort of a fantastical muse, the vampire, still wanted it to have this like womanly kind of, I'm thinking of Morticia vibes. Very clean, put together, clean lines, mattes, harmony, boldness, crisp lines. I don't think shimmer or glow makes sense for this look. As pretty as I think it would be, I think sticking with mattes makes the most sense, and just letting the colors be the focus, the depths of the red. The red right here, the dark red crisp wing. Ooh, very pretty. I'm really liking this. It's kind of been a while since I did just a very matte, clean makeup look. And yeah, I think another reason I like the idea of using this with like the Vampire Muse is if you were going for a very opulent kind of outfit, I just feel like this really kind of makes it feel more put together as well, with like more details in the clothing and the accessories. So it's not feeling like crowded or cluttered. It's got that, I don't know how else to put it, but just like sharp, sophisticated feeling. This is my everyday dark vampire makeup look. I'm going to be going through all of SILKY MOCHI'S Dark Muses, probably in order. So next up will be Witch. It's been a while since I did a witchy look. I love a witchy look, and yeah, I'll be going through the rest, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a mini series, 5-part series, and yeah, that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. And for those who maybe missed it in another video, I just launched a Patreon. There you can join different tiers based on what you might want or be interested in, but it's a great place to help support me a little further and also get bonus content. I really want to create a sense of community and conversation there, and just deep dive on a lot of themes that I focus on my channel. So that's always going to be linked down below. If you check it out, I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks so much for sticking it out until the end. Until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.